This is a very interesting video I've wanted to make for a long time. It's about a very interesting question someone asked me about spirituality a while back in one of these consultation calls I offer on my website. Basically, someone asked me, Pau, isn't it risky to invest my time into spirituality? Like, what if I invest years and decades of my life reading about religions and spirituality and gurus and mysticism and altered states of consciousness and the afterlife and seeking enlightenment and maybe even doing psychedelics and all of these things, but then it turns out that it leads nowhere and it's all wrong and it's a whole lot of nothing and I just wasted my entire life chasing empty bottles of dreams and fairy tales? That is true. That is a valid concern. Like, it could be right, maybe 50-50. Maybe there is actually something, some clear answer to life, to your existence, and you can figure that out throughout your lifetime, and you find the truth and you transcend this reality or whatever. Or maybe there is nothing. Maybe it's a problem that's impossible to solve and you just wasted your entire life on Earth reading about myths and legends. So how can we figure this out? How can we figure out if spirituality is potentially a waste of our time and that maybe it would be better to invest our time into something else? Something that is more certain and less risky. Here's how I would analyze this. First of all, if we take the thought that spirituality is a risky investment of my time because it might lead nowhere, this begs the obvious question of, okay, so in what other areas, what other activities could I invest my time in that are less risky than spirituality and that can be more fruitful? Like, basically what we're asking here is what has a higher ROI than spirituality? That is the question. Broadly speaking, I would say that you can invest your time in 4 other things, 4 areas other than spirituality. You can invest your time in health, so you can get healthier and suffer less physically. You can invest your time in wealth, so you can have more money, be more free, do whatever you want. You can also invest your time in relationships, so you can experience deeper levels of love and friendships and connection. Or you can just invest your time in direct entertainment, okay, pure pleasure, which could be anything, like movies, video games, drugs, I'm not judging. So here's the 4 other things you can do and you can invest your time in other than spirituality. But here's the thing, all these 4, they have something in common. What they have in common is that it's all dust, okay? It's all smoke, it's all sandcastles. Your body, no matter how much you invest in it, it will inevitably decay and rot. Your body will die. That is a fact, no matter how much you take care of your health. Once you die, your money is gone too. Goodbye to the bank accounts, to the houses, to the cars, all of that, every single thing gone, okay? Goodbye to the Lambo. You're not taking that with you. Here's a tougher one. Your relationships, your friends, your family, your community, the entire world. Gone too. Everyone will die. And then lastly, entertainment, direct pleasure. Like, where is that? You don't even have to wait until you die to realize that this is already gone. Like, those pleasurable experiences and beautiful moments that you live, they are nowhere to be found. That is already dead. I mean, yeah, it's all here, but that's the thing. It's just memories. If I get Alzheimer's or I hit my head hard enough, gone, as it had never happened. So if we look at these 4 right here, what we will realize is that the ROI on a long enough time frame, eventually it's gonna reach to 0, okay? No matter how high we go, no matter how high we climb, no matter how much we achieve, eventually it all leads to dust, to nothing, to 0. And we know this with a 100% certainty. The chances of you getting something out of these 4 on a long enough time frame is 0. And this brings me back to spirituality, because for spirituality, there is a chance, a non-zero chance. I'm not gonna give you a number. I'm not gonna say it's 50% or 10% or 1%, but it is there. There is a chance. And even if it's 1%, if you compare that to 0% from the other 4, that is infinitely higher. So I would make the argument that spirituality is the safest investment of your time that you can make. It is the only thing that you can invest your time in that has the potential of yielding something, some result, on a long enough time frame. Now, that does not mean that one should negate all the other 4 areas in life. Of course not, because the way I personally see it is that spirituality, for me, is at the core of it all. And these 4 things are like the vehicles for spirituality. They are like the wheels that one needs in order to eventually reach whatever is inside here, inside spirituality. There's this saying that I really like, which I think goes something like, a hungry stomach cannot feed a hungry soul. So you do need some level of health and some level of money and relationships and entertainment. You need that in order to fuel your spiritual growth. Now, just a couple of caveats, just to play some devil's advocate on myself. This perspective that I'm presenting right here only makes sense if you hold similar values to mine. Meaning that someone's values might be that they only care about short-term gains, which is completely fine, and then this whole thing doesn't make any sense for them. Like, let's say, for example, I don't know, Alex Hormozi, just as an example. I don't know what his values are or what his beliefs are, just to use him as an example. He could be like, look, Pao, I don't care about all this stuff. I think what you're saying is completely stupid, because what I value, what I know for sure, is that I am living right here, and this time frame is all I care about. This is what I value, this life of Alex Hormozi, and I just want to max it out by getting as jacked as possible and making as much money as possible and having the best relationship ever. And I don't believe that the fact that one day I'm gonna die diminishes the value of these temporary experiences I'm having right now. And here's the thing. That viewpoint is completely valid. Okay, there is no right or wrong here. A lot of times these videos that I make on spirituality and philosophy, I just make them to present ideas, things that I'm thinking about myself, so that you guys can also play with these ideas, and then on your own, you can do your own thinking and draw your own conclusions. A while back, I was talking to this young entrepreneur. I think he was like 18 or 19 at that time, and he had started his business journey recently, but he already had this mindset of like, oh, I'm a long-term thinker. I only think in decades, I'll become a billionaire, yada, yada, yada. And jokingly, but not so jokingly, I replied to him, this thing right here, we're chatting, and I told him like, well, that's too short for me. I only think in reincarnation cycles, right? So it's like this life that I'm living right now, which is Pao, I know that it's gonna end, it's gonna go to zero. So the hand that I am playing is to try to go beyond it, even if the chances are low. But here's the thing, like, both views are valid. I'm not sure there is a universal right way to live life. Each person has to figure out their own based on what they value. So you gotta decide, like, which camp are you on? Are you thinking in terms of only years, like most people, or in terms of decades, like that guy that I just told you, or across multiple lifetimes in reincarnation cycles? Up to you to decide. In any case, if you're new here, go check out my website. What I have there is way better than what I have on my YouTube channel. Also, I have a Telegram group if you want to join and connect with like-minded people who are interested in health, business, psychology, relationships, spirituality, sort of like a polymath type of group. All the links to that are in the description. And that's it for this video. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Have a great life. Peace.